I didn't expect anyone to believe me when I first found the recording. Honestly, I still don't know if I believe it myself. I'm only sharing this now because the building where it happened was demolished last year. No one was hurt. No one ever officially existed. But the call is real. And once you hear it, you'll understand why it was buried. I used to work night shifts for a small telecommunications company. Not emergency services, just a regional routing center. The kind of place that handles overflow, old infrastructure, forgotten systems. Most nights were quiet. You sit under flickering fluorescent lights, drinking bad coffee, watching numbers scroll across screens that haven't been updated in decades. The call came in at 2:17 a.m. At first, it didn't even register as strange. No caller ID, no location data. Just a raw analog signal routed through a line that, according to our system, had been decommissioned in 1998. That alone should have made it impossible. But impossible things don't announce themselves as impossible. They just show up. When I answered, I didn't say our company name. I just said, hello. There was breathing on the other end. Not heavy, not panicked, measured, like someone trying to stay calm while standing very still. I asked if they needed help. A man's voice replied, low, flat, as if reading from memory. He said, I don't know where I am anymore. That wasn't unusual. People get lost. People prank call. People drunk dial numbers they don't understand. So I asked for his location. There was a pause. Then he said something that made my stomach tighten. I think I'm still at work. I asked what kind of work. He hesitated, then said, monitoring. That was the word he used. Not security, not maintenance, monitoring. While he spoke, I pulled up the line data. The signal wasn't just old, it was wrong. The frequency didn't match any modern standard. It looked closer to archived Cold War-era infrastructure. The system flagged it as non-routable. In other words, the call shouldn't have been able to reach me at all. I asked him what he was monitoring. He didn't answer right away. Instead, he asked me a question. Are you alone right now? I told him yes. He exhaled slow, relieved. That's good, he said. They don't like witnesses. At that point, I should have ended the call, reported it, logged it. I didn't. Curiosity is a quiet kind of danger. You don't notice it until you're already leaning too far forward. I asked him who they were. Another pause. Then, I don't remember. The longer we talked, the more wrong everything felt. There was no background noise, no hum, no static, no echo. It sounded like he was speaking from a room that swallowed sound. I asked him what year it was. He said, 1994. I told him it wasn't. He went silent for so long, I thought the call had dropped. Then he whispered, that's not possible. I heard something then. Not a voice. Movement. A faint, rhythmic sound like fingers brushing against fabric. I asked him if someone else was with him. He didn't answer. Instead, he said, they're closer now. I asked him to describe where he was. He said the room was small, concrete walls, no windows, a desk, a chair, and equipment that hummed even when turned off. He said there was a red light above the door, and that it had been on for as long as he could remember. I started recording the call. We weren't supposed to, but I needed proof, if only for myself. That's when the call quality changed. The audio sharpened. Too much. I could hear his breathing clearly now. I could hear his heartbeat. And underneath it all, something else. A second rhythm. Out of sync with his breathing. Too slow to be human. I asked him if he could leave the room. He said he had tried. He said the door only opens from the outside. I asked who opens it. He replied, they do, when it's time to check. I felt cold then, not scared cold. The kind of cold that makes your thoughts feel brittle. I asked him what they were checking for. He laughed, not because it was funny, because he had given up. They're checking to see if I'm still here, he said. The sound beneath his voice grew louder, closer, like something pressing its weight against a microphone. I told him to stay calm, that I was tracing the call. I wasn't. The system couldn't trace it. There was no physical endpoint. The signal didn't exist in space. It existed in time. I asked him his name. He said it. I won't repeat it. Because when I searched company archives later, it appeared once on a staffing list. Dated 1994. Position, night monitor. Status, unresolved. Suddenly, he stopped speaking. I thought the call had ended. Then I heard a voice that wasn't his. It was close to the receiver, and it said, he's not supposed to talk yet. The line went dead. Every screen in the room froze. Then, one by one, they shut off. The lights followed. When the systems rebooted, there was no record of the call. No log, no timestamp. Just one audio file saved locally. The one I had recorded. I listened to it the next morning. The man's voice was there. So was mine. But beneath it, there was a third voice, clear as day, counting, not numbers, names. I quit a week later. The building was sealed shortly after, declared unsafe, condemned. They said it was due to outdated wiring. That's a convenient explanation. I still have the recording. And sometimes, very late at night, my phone will light up with a missed call. No number, no voicemail, just a timestamp, always the same. 2:17 a.m. If this story sounds familiar to you, if you've ever worked somewhere that no longer officially exists, check your records, check your old equipment. And if a red light turns on above a door that shouldn't be there, don't answer it. Because some calls aren't reaching out for help. They're checking to see who's listening.